Good morning and Shabbat Shalom, my friends. Thank you for spending a little time with me. All of us here at Bethel pray that you and your loved ones and friends are safe and finding ways to care for yourselves and each other. Now, when I was a boy growing up in Brooklyn, like every other kid in the neighborhood, I looked forward to summer vacation. What I did not look forward to in the summer were the thankfully rare times when my father would come home from work and announce, "Okay, everyone, tomorrow we're all going to the beach." As soon as he said that, my mother, my sister, and I would look at each other with fear and dread because we knew exactly what was going to happen. Sure, getting ready to go to the beach was fun. We were going on an adventure. It meant a change in routine and scenery. And we looked forward to that. We knew we would have a wonderful time once we got to our destination. Playing in the ocean, eating saltwater taffy, these were treats for us and we enjoyed them. So why the looks of fear and dread? Because we knew that between the excitement of beginning the journey and the fun we would have once we arrived at our destination, between those two things, there was a dreaded middle stage of the trip. Hours in a hot car, all of us tired and hungry. My father yelling at my mother yelling at my sister and me, and that was just a sample of the elements that made the middle part of the journey so difficult and unpleasant. No doubt about it, the hardest part of a journey is neither the beginning nor ending. It's that middle stage that is the most challenging. Now, there's a lovely meditation in our Siddur, which refers to life as a journey. Many of life's most memorable moments are experienced as a journey. I believe we are experiencing such a moment now as we try to navigate our way through this dangerous and difficult time. When first this scourge came to our shores, we were too busy to be afraid. We were trying to learn as much as we could about the threat we were facing. We were busy collecting the provisions we thought we might need until this pestilence would pass. We were trying to adjust to not seeing our loved ones and friends. We were trying to cope with the changes forced upon us by this pandemic. We didn't have time to be overly anxious. There were just too many things we had to do. Now, I believe that first stage of this journey has been completed. And I believe we find ourselves now in the middle stage of the journey. And it is awful, but we are not helpless. There's something that can guide us through this difficult stage. There is, I believe, one characteristic we need to cultivate if we are to move beyond this frightening middle stage. Now, the exact middle of the Torah is marked by the Hebrew letter Vav. You can't miss it. It's written larger and bolder than the letters around it, and it reveals the quality I believe we most need now. Rabbi Lawrence Kushner tells us the mystical meaning of the letter Vav is connection. Our connection to the Holy One and our connection to each other. And when we feel we have gone too far to turn back, and we have not gone far enough to reach our destination, at those moments we may feel stuck in the middle with no way forward or backward. And this leads to profound feelings of anxiety, feelings of isolation. And the Vav in the middle of the Torah reminds us the connection between ourselves and the Holy One and our connection with each other. We are not stuck. We are connected. And may this lesson then be for us a source of solace and guidance in this middle stage of this journey we are currently on. This pandemic will pass. In the meantime, there is this middle stage, and it's difficult to negotiate. I pray that we remember that when we're feeling stuck and alone, we remember the Vav right in the middle. It's that Vav that reminds us this too shall pass. And the connections we cherish, the connections that make our lives whole and holy, they will be restored to wholeness and to holiness. We have to get through this stage, and it is difficult. We may not lose sight of the connections that make for us makes life worth living. And let me conclude by saying that I know there were some of you who were a bit skeptical when in last week's message I mentioned that there are Torah studies which concentrate and focus on one word. And there are Torah studies that focus on a single letter. And some of you teased me about that. But last week, we examined one word of the Torah, Vayakel. And this week, we looked at one single letter, exactly in the middle of the Torah, the letter Vav. Connections. They are to be maintained, retained, cherished. Shabbat shalom, my friends.